What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be doing another tier list in NBA 2K21 22 MyTEAM, lads. So today we are going to be doing a tier list of the best diamonds in NBA 2K22. So this is only, obviously, as the name suggests, it is only diamonds. So we are not going to be seeing any like pink diamonds. You're not going to be seeing any like higher tier, lower tier players. So, well, you're not going to see any lower tier guys or higher tier guys than that. And they're going to be ranked based on, well, how they are compared to other diamonds. So, this is the tier list we have. If I forgot anyone, I do apologize, because it's inevitable. With things like this, it is inevitable that I do forget. So, look, it is what it is. So, anyway, now let's get on to the list. Aaron Gordon. I think B. I think he's really solid. I think he's not perfect. Like, we're looking at this guy. He's not the greatest. He can't create. That's basically it. He does everything but create. And creating is a very, very important thing, obviously, in game. We all know how important the ability to create a shot is. So he's in here at B tier. But he's a good defender. He's a pretty good shooter, especially from the corners. Corner catch and shoot situations, the guy is money. Other than that, not really. Al Horford. I'll put Al Horford D. He's small. Like, the thing about Horford's a weird one because like, he sets big screens. He feels like he's good defender. His jumper's just iffy, and he's short. Like, he's only 6'10", which is really small for a big man. So I think today's meta, you gotta put him D. Andrea Bargnani. I think as far as diamonds go, he's A. Like, as far as diamond bigs go, I really don't think there are that many better diamond bigs. Like, there are better, but I don't think there are that many. Like, the guy comes with half range, which isn't needed. I just want to make that as clear as anything. Like, half range and a big man is a novelty. It is one of the least needed things in all of my team. So he's definitely going into I think A's the right tier for him. AKA. Like, AK is just better than Aaron Gordon. Like, even though stats and badges wise he may not seem as good, but he is just better. If you're asking 99.9% of people who they would rather use this Diamond AK or Aaron Gordon, they will tell you this Diamond AK. This Diamond AK was like 40k until like Christmas. Obviously he's down like freaking 4,000 MT now, some stupidly low. But I mean, if you had to use this guy, you can still get away with him. And that's kind of a sign of a guy with a bit of longevity. You can still, 3 months after he comes out, you can still use him. Bogut. I'm going to put Bogut in the same tier as Horford. So the thing with Bogut is he's actually got unbelievable defense stats, but his speed is low and he can't shoot. So, like, see, I say that, but I knocked down 3 threes in a game of TT Online with Bogut before. It's like, if Bogut just shot the ball well, or had like 80 speed, he'd be better. He's defensively, he's really good. He's like slower Andre Drummond. That's the best way to describe him. He's a worse version of Andre Drummond's pink diamond card. Which isn't actually which isn't a bad thing. Maybe C tier? Yeah, I'll go C tier. Wiggins. I don't want to gas it, so I'll put Wiggins in A, but I was considering putting Wiggins in S. He's one of the best diamonds in the game, period. His shooting's brilliant. His lane playing is brilliant. The guy's the brilliant card. So I was very tempted to put this guy into the top tier, but nah, we'll go A. I think he might get moved up. Because again, I'm going to put 10 in the top tier and it'll be 2 per position. And he might end up going in as a 2 guard because he really is good. Okay, so then we have got Anthony Simons. I think he's alright. We have so many good diamond point guards, though, that I'm going to put him in probably. He's in D or C. Like, you can actually use this guy and get away with it. Like, he's not actually awful. He's surprisingly good. Because, like, I was using him to do his challenges because you have to score online with him. And he actually was fairly good. Like, his jumper is nice. He's that Draymond release. I think I just like Anthony Simons in this game. I love that Ruby. And that Ruby was my starting point guard for quite a while. Even when I had a squad and he was my starting point guard at the start of the year. I literally used the dude in comp. And he balled out that Ruby. Then we got Gilmore. Gilmore's just huge, isn't he? He's like Mutombo can't shoot. Like, it's kind of hard to not put Gilmore any higher. It's also kind of hard to put him lower because he is better than Horford. I don't think he's better than Bogut. I think he's got the 2-inch height advantage, but I think Bogut is better at most things, so I think that's probably fair. Both those guys saved here. Now, Bam Adebayo. If he didn't have like a 45 steal, he'd be in a higher tier. That steal rating, it just kills him. It really does kill him. Like, I can't have a guy who's not a shooter has a 45 steal rating and is small above D tier. He really is D at this stage. Bill Russell. I'm going Bill Russell A. I don't think he's that much different. I think I would take Bargnani over Bill Russell. But if you had the opposite opinion and you thought that Bill Russell was better than Bargnani, I would completely understand. Bargnani's a way better shooter, Bill Russell's a way better defender. And in terms of like rebounding and stuff, I prefer Bargnani, but you're probably gonna say Bill Russell's better. But again, that's kind of a close one. But like again, I would understand if you make the argument the other way. So yeah, they're both gonna go A tier. I think Bill Russell's probably gonna be a better player for most people though. McAdoo S. S. So good. He's so freaking good. You put a 3-point shoe on the guy, and even base, like even without a 3-point shoe, I was knocking down shots with him. Like, I'm telling you, he is way, way better than people give him credit for. Like, the guy runs unbelievably well. He dribbles well. He's so freaking fast. And while he's not the greatest shooter, base 5 is such a good release that it's kind of easy to green from the corners with him. And he's a really good mid-range shooter. So, yeah, I am probably surprisingly high on this guy. Like, I call him the cheap pink diamond Giannis, and that's literally what he was. He plays very like what you're getting from him is very similar to what you're gonna get from pink diamond Giannis. So yeah, he's S, and then I mean another S tier player. I don't think anyone's gonna argue Bob Sir in S. Actually, there's a debate to be had there because there's only 2 S tier spots for point guards. And Penny Hardaway and Larry Hughes exist. One of those is probably going to have to play the 2. So I'm not putting any of those 3 lower than S tier. But Bob Sir is so good. Good release. Movement's good. Dunks on everybody. Defense is pretty decent. It's not like he's this absolutely immaculate defender, but he's not a bad defender either. So, yeah, Sir getting this. Bobby Jones. The guy literally cannot shoot the ball. And he does not play offense. I'm sorry, like I like defense, but like the guy cannot play. If you can't play one side of the ball, you can't get above E tier. He's not worthless. He serves a purpose. He very, very much serves a purpose. But I think to try and argue this guy is not E tier, like I don't think I've ever seen anybody use him. I genuinely do not think I've ever seen a person use this card in game. So, yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, but I'm gonna put him into E tier. Then we've got like a surprisingly good player. I'm gonna go A tier for Byron Scott. So Byron Scott, his release is just 22 on normal time, but it feels so quick. His release feels so quick. He shoots from deep. He moves the ball. He moves really well. He's a decent defender. He's actually one of the better diamonds. Outside of Larry Hughes, he's probably the best of the diamond cards that we got in that wasn't a Spotlight Sim set, the playoff push. Yeah, Byron Scott's really, really good. He can more than hold his own. Like again, he's not going to be used that much in competitive, but and honestly, high bracket SPMM, he doesn't work great either. But he's great in TTO. He's great in clutch time. And he's great if he's needed for limited. Anything without SBMM, the guy's brilliant. Calvin Nat. I know Splash loves Calvin Nat. And I know Splash ran Calvin Nat while qualified for 250. Like, I get all of that. But he's only fine. Like, his dribble sigs are not the greatest. His release is meh. The problem is, like, the thing is, he's got, like, really high strength. And if you are someone who can green almost every shot you shoot like a splash, he's going to be a lot better for you. But I think for most people, he's going to be at a similar level to Aaron Gordon. Birdman. I think Birdman's going to go S. As far as diamond bigs go. Birdman's so good. Like, Birdman's chicken. For some reason, he shoots the 3-ball really well. He's also not tall, but he's got good defensive stats, good lateral quickness. He's got interceptor on Gold as well, so he can play those lanes. Nah, man, Birdman is one of the more underrated players in all of my team. And by more underrated, I mean legitimately one of the most underrated players. And him at center, I could end up moving. Maybe I'll move McAdoo down. Maybe I'll move him down. He's so nice. McCollum. I think McCollum is just slightly worse Byron Scott. He's Byron Scott with worse defense. So I'm going to put him one tier lower. But, I mean, maybe you could argue McCollum in A tier. I wouldn't, but I think maybe you could. So, I'm going to put CJ McCollum in B. But if you wanted to put CJ McCollum in A tier, I would be... I mean, I wouldn't question you. Then we've got Granger. At this stage in the game, Granger's C. Like, Granger's fine. He does a job. Like, if you got him at the start of the year, surely if you locked in him day one, you're not going to keep using him. But the guy's fine. The guy's absolutely fine. Darius Miles. I mean, I think it's hard not to put Darius Miles in S tier. Man, this beast set was god tier. This beast set really was god tier. Like, I forgot about how good it was. Like, beast set was absolute beast of a set. Well, it was in the name. But Darius Miles is basically, you know, Galaxy Old Antoine Jameson. That's basically Darius Miles. But Darius Miles like 4 KMT. He shoots, he dunks, he's got Brook Lopez base, plays defense. Huge player build. So yeah, he's S. David West, D. D for David, D for tier. I don't like him. I don't think he shoots well enough to be as slow as he is. I don't think he moves well. Like, I've used the guy plenty of times. For someone who came out like on Christmas Eve, you would expect like almost all the modern guys are going to be worst kind of B tier. He's the worst diamond we've seen in quite a while. De'Aaron. I'm going to put De'Aaron in B. He's either B or A. I think it's a really close one. Maybe A? Maybe A? Yeah, I'll go A for De'Aaron then. Let's go. I'm going to move Bargnani down one. I think this looks a little bit better. Yeah, De'Aaron's better than McCollum. DeMar DeRozan worthless. He's so bad. He's so bad. It's funny. This card here is an absolute trash can. I'm sorry to anyone who ever spent money on this card. When this card's duo came out, the guy was like 150,000 MT. Like, what are we doing, lads? He's made him like, we made him 150k MT because he had a duo. It didn't even make him any better. He's terrible. I'm so shocked at how bad the Opal DeRozan is in the grand scheme of things, but like this DeRozan genuinely just stuck to his time. Rose, C. Like he can side to side a little bit. Most people are not gonna have that much success with him, and he's got like a 77 rated 3-ball. I think at this stage of the game he's C. But I will say if we get another D-Rose, he's gonna be insane, especially if they give him that D-Rose release on quick because of how quick it is on normal. I just imagine if they gave him D-Rose on quick, like. Detlef next. Detlef Schrempf. Detlef Schrempf is B. Schrempf is pretty decent. He's 6'10". He shoots the ball well. His movement is, hit or miss. It's not like he's a slug out there, but it's not like he's going to really create for himself. But at the same time, the height, the fact he can play at the small forward position really means that putting him lower than B is just not an option. Then we've got Dikembe. I mean, at this stage, Dikembe is still probably... Am I gassing it saying Dikembe is probably A tier as far as diamonds go? Because, like, He's not as good as Birdman. He's not as good as Ibaka. He's not as good as Kamakadu, but he's still Mash Man. He's still Mash Man. He can still shoot when he's wide open. His duo is pretty good as well. But yeah, I'm somewhat high on him. I don't know if I'm too high or not. I don't know if he's A or B. Like, I don't know if he's better than Bargnani. And I know for some people he's going to be way better than Bargnani, but I know for some other people he's going to be worse. So I don't know if just if just for the average person he's going to be better or not. I'm going to go 8 here, but it's close. Dre. A. I mean S. I really don't know. He is that's a tough one. That's a tough one for him because he's really good. He's a player that I do very much like. But it's so, like, literally, I'm going best 10 in S tier and he might get moved down. He's like, the gap between the guys in S and the guys in A is pretty big right now. Drazen, B. Drazen shoots the lights out. So, like, Drazen will not miss, ever. But he's not going to do anything other than just shoot the ball. First player in the game will have a limitless range. Brilliant for his time. B tier. Franz Wagner. Give me B. Give me B tier for Franz. He plays so much better than his stats and badges would suggest. Like I remember I said it with his Ruby. I'm like, this guy should not be this good. Like, his stats and badges, and even his release isn't very good. I don't know what it is. I genuinely don't know what it is. He's just so good. Like, it's hard to comprehend just how good in general the guy is, but I'm telling you, he's a beast. He is a beast for his stats. Then we have got George Mikan. A. I hate having to do it. I think Mikan's better than Russell. I think Mikan's quite a bit better than Bill Russell. I also don't think Mikan's anywhere. I think Birdman and Ibaka are quite a bit better than Mikan. And Mikan was good though for his time. Mikan was real freaking good. He was definitely one of my favorite players for his stage. And he's somebody that I definitely think could definitely someone that could be good later on in the year because of how good his release is. Hill, I'm gonna put B tier. Hill does a job. Hill's completely fine. Like, he's gonna play some defense, and I mean, he'll hit wide open jumpers. That's kind of it. So yeah, there's Hill. Then we got Gus Gerard. Gus is gonna have to go C. If I got Granger in C, Gus Gerard's gonna go C. Gus is a pretty good card. And by pretty good, I mean, like, Gus is genuinely a pretty good card. So the guy shoots the ball pretty well. It's just all around game is decent. The only problem with Gus Gerard is that he's just outdated. He was a day one card. Hito. D. He's 6'10 and can move. He just has base 11, which is awful. Like, I wish I could, like, you're probably expecting me to just say, oh, I'm going to put him in the lower tier. The guy sucks. But I'm like, he really doesn't. He really doesn't suck that much. He's not good, but he's not these two tiers. Hersey Hawkins is going D tier as well. His jumper's nice. Can't really move. He's undersized and isn't the greatest defender in the world. He's got a really high steal rating though, if that counts for anything. But yeah, so pretty okay card in Hersey. So I'll go D tier. He's probably not higher than that. He's definitely not D-Rose. Because, like, I'm gonna put IT in, like, B tier. I still think he's good. Like, I used that Amethyst for ages. I used the Amethyst for so long in my squad. Just anytime I was running, like, budget players. And he's actually really nice. His movement is really good. He gets good defensive animations. Like, he was the best point guard in the game for quite a while. Like, it is kind of mad that he genuinely was the best. Who would have ever thought like a 6'1" Isaiah Thomas was going to be the best point guard in the game, but he was. Jamal Crawford, B as well. The only problem with Jamal Crawford is that you have a choice to make. You can either make him a glass cannon, and if you wonder what a glass cannon is, like a player that's unbelievable on offense but genuinely cannot play even the slightest bit of defense. So you can either make the guy a complete glass cannon, or you can make him a competent defender. One or the other. He does not have enough. He is missing so many badges, and he does not have enough badge slots to make him both a usable, even I'm not even saying good defender, just a serviceable defender. To make him both a serviceable defender and a good and someone who can shoot from deep and create. Like, it's just not possible. Stats wise, he's good. Player build wise, he's 6'5", but he does not seem 6'5". So I think he's B. Like, I can't believe I'm putting Jamal Crawford in B tier in a freaking diamond point guard tier list, or diamond tier list. But I think that's where he belongs, honestly. Maybe you could argue A. Now Harden's A for now, but Harden's probably could move to S. Harden's still got it, man. I'm telling you, Harden is still that dude. Like, I have no problem at all putting Harden in S tier if I do end up putting him there. Because James Harden he can create as well as anybody. His dribble style, it's fundamental, but it's slightly different. I think I was talking to a couple of Pro-Am guys, and they were like, the individual dribble styles, they're not quite fundamental. There's like slight differences. And it's the reason why Paul George and James Harden's dribble styles are better than fundamental. They're basically fundamental, but they're slightly better. Like, they're not quite quick or shifty, but they're better than they're like slightly faster than normal fundamentals. So that's kind of a cool thing. And Harden's jumper is so nice. Again, especially if they go and give James Harden a release on quick and make him a point guard, he might be the best point guard in the game. Jaren Jackson Jr., A. If you're on next gen, he's B. If you're on current gen, he's... I don't know why I was thinking about why I thought I was going to put Porzingis in A tier. But Jaren Jackson Jr., he's a current gen make card. His release is not really on next gen. There's a lot of things he doesn't do that well on next gen. His steal rating of like 40 something is awful. The crazy thing is with Jaren Jackson Jr., like, if you guys don't know, 2K, he had a steal rating of like 66 on his gold card, and then he got 2 steals for his moments card, and 2K lowered his steal rating. Mad. But no, he does everything well, so he's A tier. Asen Kidd. Look, as far as diamonds go, he's going D. He's going D, considering that defense is the only end of the floor that he plays. Like, Jason Kidd's a really good defender, by the way. A really good defender. The problem is that he does not play offense. He can't shoot the ball, and he can't really move. Like, if his problem was only he couldn't shoot, and he could like run around, and there were other ways to kind of make up for it. Like, there are guys with beta releases that you can get away with. You just can't get away with him because he doesn't do anything else. Like, the only thing he can do on offense in terms of stats wise is shoot the ball, and he can't even do that. So yeah, I'm not high on Asen Kidd. I am not high on Asen Kidd at all. So yeah, he's going to go into D tier. Jason Terry. I go C tier for Jason Terry. Very similar to Kidd, except instead of playing no defense, he's a really good... instead of playing no offense, he's a really good offensive player, but he plays no defense. So that's the thing. I think a player that can play off a glass cannon is better than a pure lock who can't score. So that's why Jason Terry's going to tier ahead. But if you want to swap them, it's fine. Jaylen Brown, B. Jaylen Brown's solid. He still does the job. Like, if you put this Jaylen Brown on the floor, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like, there's no reason to worry if you have to play Jaylen Brown. Like, he's a perfectly good card. His stats and badges are fine. He shoots the ball. I think either bronze or silver limitless, so he can shoot the ball from kind of deep. The only issue is he's got like slasher dribble style, but he's good. Jeff Malone, getting to D tier. You're 6'4" T-Mac, but you can't really shoot. Yeah, he's not good. Definitely better than the guys in E and D tier. Ian Worthless. But no, he definitely belongs in the tier I have him in. He's not brilliant. Not a bad player. Not very good either. So, yeah, then we have got Jimmy Buckets. You see, I'm going to put him B tier. I don't like Diamond Jimmy, though. I think Diamond and Amethyst Jimmy are basically the same card. And speaking of Jimmy, Jesus, the lad played 50-something minutes on it. You see the Toronto team, their whole starting five played about 53 minutes. Man, Joe Smith, 6'10" small forward, can't dribble the ball. If that's the problem with him, is that he genuinely cannot dribble the ball. He's actually not bad other than that, if you can get used to that release. So, I think Ty had him really, really low in his tier list. I actually don't mind Joe Smith. This is one of those cards that, like, a lot of people hate, and I don't mind him. So, yeah, he's going to go here. Then we got Stockton. Basketball John. He's not, like... I don't even think he's that ass. Am I going to put him in E? Like, he's either going E or D. I'll go D, I guess. I don't think he's that bad. But he's not good either. Calderon, D. Calderon's not good. Jose Calderon is not good at all, lads. I was shocked because like, Ruby's okay for Ruby. His diamond is basically just as Ruby. His diamond is essentially just as Ruby, so I'm not high at all. Josh Smith, no brainer. Absolute no brainer. S. Get all the way up into S. Like Josh Smith is one of those guys that he shoots, he runs, he plays defense at an elite rate. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for here? Like, he's going to do everything. He's honestly not that much different than Anthony Davis. Oh, but like, there's very little difference, and the guy's 5,000 MT. 5 to 10k. Clay, S. Klay Thompson is S tier. No question about it. I'm like, yeah, Harden probably doesn't make it. It's between Harden and probably Penny. And because I'll probably put Larry Hughes in as a 2 guard. Harden probably stays in A tier. Yeah, Clay's movement is really, really good. Is obviously we all know what his jumper is like. We've all used Klay Thompson. We all know what the guy's capable of in my team. We've all known that this is Clay's, like, 2K22, this is the year of Clay. Like, Clay had not really been good other years in 2K. This is well and truly the year of Clay. Kobe. I'm going to have to put Kobe with Jaylen Brown. Those two guys have always been kind of the same tier. They came out around the same time. And most of the time, people thought that they were, like, very, very even players. Most of the time, people thought that Kobe and Jaylen Brown as players were kind of even. So I'm going to put Kobe Bryant and Jaylen in the same tier. They're both going to go B tier. Again, if you want to argue them higher, be my guest. But I don't think they're the same tier as Harden. I think that's kind of over. That's definitely gassing it. Then we've got Kyrie Irving. We got another worthless player. We got another guy for worthless tier. It's not just you, DeRozan. Kyrie's there with you. Kyrie's so bad. He's so bad. Like, I remember at the start of the year when there were people that actually used that Kyrie. And in fairness, they were cooking with him. They were 100% cooking with Kyrie. Problem was that like the guy gave up a basket on the other end of the floor every other possession. Like, I don't even mind Big Time with Kyrie. I really don't. This Kyrie's so ass. Larry Bird. See, he can kind of move. He plays a little bit of defense. The only issue with Larry Bird is that he's just slow. He's just very, very... I say not very slow. He just can't really dunk. And he doesn't shoot from as deep as the Pink Diamond. He's like just a downgrade version of Pink Diamond. Doesn't play that... At this stage of the game, the defense isn't the greatest either. Larry Hughes, S. Whether it's at the 1 or at the 2, Larry Hughes is S tier. His defense is just too good. Like, he's the single best diamond defender in the game. So I just find it really hard to not put this guy in top tier. And his offensive game is fine as well. Like, it's not like he's the greatest scorer in the world, but it's fine. That's the best word I can use to describe it. Like, it's completely fine. So he's gonna go into S tier. Larry Johnson. I don't like Larry Johnson. I'm putting him in C. I know most people wouldn't have him in C tier. They'll probably say, oh, Larry Johnson should be in B tier. Well, like, again, this is my tier list, and I just don't like Larry Johnson. I have not liked Larry Johnson in a long time in 2K. So yeah, that's the tier he's going in for me. Okay, so then after Larry Johnson, we have got, who do we have? We've got Lenny Wilkins. Now, Lenny Wilkins isn't that terrible, but he's probably D tier. He's better than Stockton. I'll give you that. He's better than John Stockton. But, like, by how much is the question. Like, I really don't know how much better he is than John. Like, even though he is better, it's like, he has to be a lot better to put him into C tier. Lou Will. Now, Lou Will's going B. Lou Will is going B tier. He's too small. Like, he's probably too small to put him in A tier. He's definitely too small to put him in A tier. But I think B tier, like, he's super underrated. He's like poor man's Iverson or poor man's CP3. The guy moves. The guy actually plays really decent on-ball defense as well. He gets some really cool steal animations. I'm just pleasantly surprised by the guy. I used him in a gameplay and was like shocked at how not awful he was. Like, I expected him to suck. I think everyone kind of expected his card to suck when they saw it. But no, he's not. He's not a world beater by any means. Like, he's very rare. Like, he's not gonna be the main man on a good team. But I mean, he's pretty freaking good. He is most definitely pretty good. So yeah, we are going to. I'm gonna put him in B. Like, again, I think some people might argue he should be in a higher tier. And then there's also people that are gonna be like, oh no, the guy's a bum. Why is he even in B tier? For me, I think that's the perfect spot for him. I think that is the perfect spot for him. So yeah, he's gonna be there in B tier. Now we got Canby. I'm gonna put Canby in C because he can play defense, he blocks shots. Give me Bogut over Canby any day though. I do want to be clear with that. Like, I think Bogut's better than Marcus Canby. Even though I think most people probably say Bogut better than Canby, maybe? Or Canby better than Bogut? Either way, I think they're the same tier. Like, I don't think he's unusably bad either. But yeah, so we're gonna put him both in the C tier. Marquez Johnson, he's absolutely sucks, getting to worthless. Michael Jordan, D, he can play defense. Let's fill out E tier. Jokic is E tier. Like, we're getting a lot of these guys here at the end that just are not brilliant players. Like, a lot of the older players are starting to come up. Whereas, like, at this stage, you're putting Shaq in D tier. Ewing's gonna go E tier. Ewing really sucks. Otto Porter. I really don't like Otto Porter, but maybe Otto Porter belongs in D tier. That's a tough one. Because I really hate Porter. So yeah, I think E tier for him. Anyone else? Mitchell Robinson's gonna go C. Despite the fact Mitchell Robinson's 50 speed, he just gets the most stupid block animations I've ever seen. I'm not even kidding. He genuinely gets the best block animation in the game. So for me, it's tough to not put Mitchell Robinson in C tier. Like, you would look at stats and be like, yeah, this guy's E tier or F tier. But no, for me, he's C tier. Anyone else in the E or F tier? Westbrook in E tier. Westbrook sucks so bad. Oh my god, this Westbrook sucks so bad. Like, the Evo one's fine. The Evo one's not terrible. The one that Evo's up to a pink diamond. No, this Westbrook is so bad. I'm telling you, he stinks. Russell Westbrook, like, he makes John Stockton look like a good player. There is a 0% chance Westbrook's going higher than E tier. Mike Miller next. Mike Miller's A. Mike Miller is A. He's at that Harden level. He's not that like next tier up compared to the guys that are in S tier. I think there is quite a noticeable gap outside of Harden between S and A tier anyway. But yeah, so some really good players here in all of these tiers. Then we got ML Carr. I mean, ML Carr still plays defense. I'm putting him in C. I don't actually mind this card. I thought he did a really good job when he was in the game. I thought he did a really good job when he was still like a relevant card in the game. When ML Carr became... Like when ML Carr was still like a player that a lot of people ran as their lock. I thought he was good. I don't think he's B, but I'm going to go C. I don't mind this card. Miles Turner. Turner's B. Turner's B. I don't think he's quite Bargnani, but I also don't think he's that much worse than Andrea Bargnani. So I'm going to put him in that tier. Again, if you want to put him higher, that's fine. If you want to put him lower, I'm cool with that as well. But yeah, so he is going to go into B tier. Batum with Evo is probably A. Without Evo, I'm going to put him low B. I still think he does a job. Like, I really still stand by the fact that I think he does a job. Again, I don't think most people are going to have success with this Nick Batum card. But for me, I think he's fine. I really think he's fine. So, I'm going to put him in B. Vus is like a worse Bargnani. So, I'm going to go C tier. He's like a way worse Bargnani with like set shot. So, C. But again, C tier is not a terrible tier. Paul Silas, A. Paul Silas is, for me, he's got the unbelievable six. He's basically Maurice Lucas, except he's a slightly better shooter, but he's slightly smaller. And like Maurice Lucas, we all know how good Maurice Lucas, that Galaxy Opal is. So, we all know how good that card is. So yeah, I'm going to put him in A. Like he's got half interceptor, really good defender, an overall good card. Penny. I think I'm going to have to put Penny in S. I think I'm going to have to put him in S. Because I just think he's too good not to. He's way too good not to put in S tier because his just overall game is so good. He's tall. He can move. I'm telling you, he's better. Like before LaMelo came out, everyone ran Penny competitively. He's insane. Purvis Short. I'll go C tier for Purvis Short. Purvis Short can do a job. Like, he's not terrible. Like, he's surprisingly not terrible. He's like a worse dunking Vince Carter. Robert Reed. You know, Robert Reed's going B. He does everything well. If you look at Robert Reed, he does not have a flaw. He's just a jack of all trades, master of none. He is the Diamond Sadiq Bey. Like, the way he plays in game is basically the exact same as Sadiq Bey. So, that's a it's kind of a solid thing. Like, Sadiq Bey is a really good player. He's a player that I really like. He's a player a lot of people really like. So, he's going to go into... Yeah, he's going to go into B. Then we got Gobert. I mean, Gobert is... You're going to have to put Gobert with Mitchell Robinson, aren't you? The same player, basically. Like, Rudy Gobert and Mitchell Robinson. There is almost no difference. Scotty Pippen. A, potentially S. Scotty's so good. Scotty's so good on the defensive end. Scotty actually shoots the ball relatively well. Like, I'm surprised at how good Scotty shoots the ball. And like, I'm someone that has, throughout the years, has hated Scotty Pippen. Like, if you asked me in any other year 2K what my opinion of Scotty Pippen was, it would always be, oh, he sucked. But no, this year's Scotty is different. This year's Scotty really is different. So he's going to go, he's an A2. Serge Ibaka S. I think that might be my tiers. Or there might be a player subject. If that doesn't work as a lineup, there has to be a player that's subject to change. Just got to make sure of that one. But no, He's no-brainer S tier. He's no-brainer S tier. Steven Jackson. I'm going to have to put Steven Jackson A, aren't I? Like, he isn't complete. That's the problem, is that he's not complete. He does not come with a lot of badges. And like for the badges he does come with, he's missing quite a few. But he's a Rudy Gay clone. And like, we know how much I love Rudy Gay, so I think to not put this guy in S tier would be a disservice, or in A tier would be a disservice to him. Steve Francis C. I would have put Steve Francis in a higher tier prior to the burst patch. The problem is that like his whole game is based around his movement. He's got really good dribble sigs. His movement's really good. The problem is that the patch kind of rendered Steven Jackson almost worthless. The stuff Steven Jackson did well was patched, and not Steven Jackson, Steve Francis did well was patched, and yeah, he's not the greatest. I'm just gonna breeze through these. We're at 40-minute mark. We're gonna go C tier for Tobias Harris. We're gonna going A tier for Kukoc. And I don't care what Ty says, Kukoc is brilliant. Kukoc is absolutely brilliant. He's no Lamar Odom, I will give you that. Like, Lamar Odom is a significantly better player, but Kukoc is still Kukoc. And don't forget that, like, Kukoc is still really, really good. So, yeah, I'm high on the card. I'm really, really high on the card. So, yeah, he's going to go A tier. Tony Allen plays very good defense, and he can kind of hit. So, C tier. No, D tier. D tier for defense. Yeah, so he's like a two-guard version of Jason Kidd, except he's better on defense than Kidd. Okay, so that's where I'm going to put him. Trey Young's an interesting one. So Trey Young, I think I'm going to go C tier. Or B. No, I'll go B. You can cook with Trey Young. You really can cook Trey Young with Trey Young. So I'm going to put him B tier if you know what you're doing. Honestly, I'm going to go, at this stage in the game, Glass Cannon, Zach Lavine, I'm going D tier. He was good for his time. And we could get if we get a point guard, Zach Lavine, he could be God. Wes Unseld, B. He's just kind of undersized and he doesn't move like he's like a worse Draymond in my opinion. And then Oladipo, A. So let's take a look. We've got our point guards. We have got one shooting guard, a second shooting guard. We have got one small forward. You've only got one. Okay, so Draymond's got to move down. I think Bob McAdoo move down. Then we need a small forward up. Scotty move up. Scotty. Yeah. Yeah, this is the team. This is the 10-man lineup we've got. So we got starting point guards, Penny Hardaway and Sir. 2 guards, Clay and Larry Hughes. 3 is Darius Miles and Scotty. Power 4s, Josh Smith, Draymond, centers, Ibaka and Birdman. I'm actually happy with this list. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.